TGI Friday. Hey everyone. Hey everyone. Hey everyone. Welcome to Cultivating Conversations. Whether you are catching the live or the replay, thank you for stopping by my channel, my live, my podcast. I am your host, Stacey T. And Cultivating Conversations really quickly is a safe space where we have healthy dialogue about tough conversations and topics. So this month of April, hey Roseanne, hey sis. This month, I've been doing a series called The Missing Piece. Okay, and I've been talking about um the different voids and the different areas in our lives that causes a breach or creates a hollowness or emptiness in our heart and in our wholeness, right? So 2 weeks ago we talked about daddy wounds and mommy scars, and last week we spoke about people being in your ear, right? Um the type of advice that you get. And as I've said in past weeks, this was really a call to action from the whole relationship guru person thing and that debacle that happened. And I'm really glad that it kind of has gone away. So prayerfully, him and his wife are both getting the counseling and the help that they need. I really hope that above all things. So, yeah, we've been talking about, the things that we are missing in our lives that impede or get in the way of our wholeness. And that wholeness can put a halt to our relationships, whether it's the relationship with ourselves, which then spins off and it affects relationships that we have with others. So, in this day and age and in this culture and in this climate, there's so much conversation around relationships. Everybody wants relationships. They want the 5 steps. What can I do to get the ring, the man, the bag, the this, the that, the third? And a lot of times we are missing the missing piece. Yeah, I just did that. The missing piece, which are the things that we need to really deal with before we can even go into a relationship, or the things that we need to deal with so that whatever relationship we're in, we can make it better. Hey, Michelle, so that we can make it better. This series was really, really driven towards those who are single and single again, but I don't discriminate, also for married people, because a lot of times people get married and they're not healed. And then they bring in their emptiness into their union, into their relationship, expecting that the other person is going to heal them, or they're going to the person is going to be the missing piece, which a person can never be a missing piece and fill in that void. Only healing and wholeness in God can fill that. They are there to complement and make your healing and your wholeness better, to make you a better person. Okay, so this week we're talking about bucket lists. We're talking about living our lives. In my humble opinion, I believe that is another missing piece um, that prevents people from really living a full life, because for whatever reason we think, or we've been told that we should hold back on living our life and hold back on doing certain things until we get to a certain status, right? So if you're single, you're not people those who are single are not they're not encouraged the way that I think they should be encouraged to live, to live, to do the things that you want to do. Because here's the thing, if you enjoy it that much, then you could do it again with your boo when you get one. Okay? But enjoy your life. Enjoy yourself. When you go out and you do things and you live life, you get to see who you really are. And that's really one of the key reasons why you should live your life, because you don't want you and your spouse marrying a stranger. They don't know who you are. You don't know who you are either. And this, I believe, another one of my humble opinions, this is why I believe, hey auntie, this is why I believe there are a lot of marriages. You see marriages, right? People have been together 20, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 years. And then you find out they're getting a divorce. And you're like, how in the world are you with somebody for most of your life and then you up and get a divorce? A lot of times it's because the children and the cares of life got consumed them so that, because they did not know who they were when they got into the marriage, and they thought that they was going to find their identity and their value in the marriage, that either they have gone all of this time in their marriage trying to discover and figure out who they are, or they are in the marriage for all of those years. They still haven't discovered who they are. And they want to then get back into their singleness and live life and do all of these great things that you really should have been doing while you were single, so that you can do them while you are married and have a fulfilling life with you and your spouse. Okay. Let me just put a disclaimer here. Okay. I am not the poster child for singleness. I am not the poster child for singleness. Okay. I desire to be married one day. Okay. I love marriage. It is beautiful. It is honorable. It is what God intended. It is wonderful when it's done the right way. But what Stacy's not doing is working feverishly and desperately to try to find a helpmate, a person, a man, a boo thing. That I'm not doing. Okay. When it happens, it will happen. But I speak a lot towards singleness because I've been married before. For those of you who do not know me, I have been married. I'm divorced. I was really short of calling myself a divorcee, and I hate that word. I will never. I'm currently divorced. No, I'm not currently divorced. I'm currently single, but I was divorced. Okay, because I was married once. So I understand, the whole concept of marriage. And I also understand the concept of singleness. And I understand the concept of being single again, because I have gone through all of these different phases and facets, bumps, bruises, mistakes, and all. Okay. I have made some really stupid decisions. Okay. But it was a part of my learning, and that's why I'm here. So that's why I'm really big on people understanding who they are in their singleness and living your life, while you are married. And living your life does not mean that you got to be out here slinging stuff and being, a fool and acting crazy. It's just really, really about, knowing who you are and being confident in that. Yes, and that compromising, auntie, comes because you have not discovered who you are. Let me tell you something, and I'm not going to get on my soapbox, and I'm not going to veer left, but I just need to say this to that comment. I'm in a place right now where this is the best time of my life as far as me, okay? Because I know not only who I am, because that was never really in question, but really who I am in God's eyes and his plan for me. Okay. I don't know it all. I still don't know it all. I don't want to know it all, because that's a whole nother topic in and of itself. But because I know who I am, and because I know what makes me tick, and because I know what I've been through, because I know what I've gotten through, I know what I deserve. I know what I deserve. And nobody, and I mean nobody, hey sis, nobody will ever, by the grace of God, will ever talk me down from what I know that I deserve, because I know who I am and I know what I need. And here's the other thing, God knows what I need. So I'm smart enough to relinquish what I would want and put it in his hands, but at the same time, I know what I don't want. Okay? And when people, all they chase is, the ring and the dress and the status and this, and I've said that so many times, where I'm sure people probably be like, oh, she a hater. No, I'm really not. Like I said, I love marriage. I love it. I love it. I love it. But I have seen too many times, so many times, women absolutely lose all of their God forsaken mind for the sake of trying to find a man, be with a man, catch a man, trap a man, all of that. And when you know who you are, you just chill. You just chill. Now, I know that there's a fine line between, knowing who I am and having walls up. And people have talked to me about that. And I know all of that. I know all of that. It is a tightrope that I do walk. But it's just something about having the confidence of knowing who you are, that you do not feel the need to settle for the sake of people's opinions and what they think and what they said, and all of that stuff. You don't have to do that. Like I said last week, a couple of weeks ago, I don't owe nobody an explanation. My pastor told me, okay? My pastor told me, he said, you don't owe nobody an explanation. That's what he said. Okay, he ain't God, but that's my covering, my spiritual covering, and I don't owe anybody anything. So I don't have to try to justify and find somebody. When it's supposed to happen, it will happen. And when it's a God thing, it's going to be a great thing. I think somebody should put that in the comments. When it's a God thing, it's going to be a great thing. Okay. But until that time comes, I'm living my life. I'm enjoying myself. I'm living my life and I'm enjoying myself. I mean, it's COVID. So, we've been shut up in the house for a year, and outside is trying to slowly act right and open. But previous to that, I was living my life. I was living my life. But we're going to get into that. So let me just preface here and say that I know in the advertisement, I said that I had 20 things, but I only have 10, which is good, because I feel like if I had 20 things, we would be on here until midnight. And I really, really need to keep this to an hour. Thank you, Serena. So I have 3 things, and this came from Glamour Girl. No, not Glamour Girl, Glamour.com, the magazine, Glamour.com. I may have made some tweaks, but I have 10 things. 10 things that all women, all right, I'm speaking to women because I'm a woman and I know fairly how we operate, how we kind of maneuver. So I'm speaking specifically to ladies, to the ladies here on the live and in the replay. 10 things that every woman should do in her lifetime. Okay. 10 things every woman should do in her lifetime. Number 1. Hey, Quinn. Number 1. So Quinn, just to catch up, we are doing, I'm doing a series called The Missing Piece. And this week is week 4 and we're talking about a bucket list. So listen, get a pen. Feel free to jot these down if anything resonates with you, and really hold yourself to it. There are some things you may need to wait until like later on in the year, or wait until you get some money, or wait until you get some vacation time, or wait until, you're comfortable doing certain things. But there's some things you can, kind of do now. Okay. So number 1, go to a movie or a dinner alone. Okay. Number one, go to a movie or a dinner alone. And this can be whether you're single or you're married. Okay. Why? Because as a single woman, um, we tend to, or single again, we tend to fall into the hype that we we do not and should not live our life until we have a spouse. So there's just certain things that, we wait on doing. Okay. Um, I remember when I was going through my divorce, and I was having a really, really, really hard time. Thank you, Sissy. I was having a really, really hard time because I had spent 7 solid years being a wife. I spent 7 solid years being a wife. And even though I had my friends and I went out and I enjoyed myself, but it was just something about the comfort of my husband at the time where, you know, we would go on vacations together. We was in church every Sunday together. We had couples date nights with our friends and all of those things. And when I became divorced, all of that went away. I had to literally start my life over because the people that were married, there wasn't any. I wasn't invited, obviously, to couples outings and things because I ain't a couple. I ain't coupling with nobody. I'm not coupled, so I couldn't do anything. So I forced myself. To go and I forced myself to go out to eat by myself because one of the things that play on your psyche as somebody who is bless you, blessings justified. One of the things that plays on the psyche if you're single or you're single again, but especially if you're single again, is now I'm lonely. I don't have anybody to go out with me. I don't have, like, I'm just gonna be a loner and I'm going to look lonely if I go out. No, you're just gonna look like you're going out by yourself. So I made myself go to a restaurant, and I'm gonna tell you because I remember there's this Asian restaurant on 7th Avenue in the Fashion District. And it was one of those Asian, like, it wasn't like a Chinese restaurant. It was like an Asian bistro type thing. Their food was, I don't know if they're still there, phenomenal. And I made myself go and sit there. And the way, it's a restaurant, so there's no booths. So everything is open. And I sat there by myself and I had my journal and I watched people eat and I ate and I journaled and I had a great time. And then another time I went to the movies by myself. And let me and I'm gonna tell you this funny story. So one of the times, the first time I went to the movies by myself, I don't remember what movie I saw any of the times, because once I started going, then I was like, oh, okay, I'm good. Because what I'm gonna do, shut up in the house until I'm in a relationship? What if I'm not in a relationship for like 2 years or so? So that means I ain't going nowhere. That means I ain't going to see no movie. That means I'm not going to eat. That means that means Stacey not going to eat. Y'all know. And if you don't know, I eat, okay? I'm going to make sure that I have a meal. Lest the Holy Spirit from on high tells me to fast, Stacey is eating because Stacey loves to eat. And if I need to go out to eat by myself and it's something that I really want, I'm going to get up and I'm going to take my behind and I'm going to get a table for one and I'm going to eat and drink and be merry, okay? So I was at the movies and it was one of those movies where you buy the tickets. Um, uh, and the movie was fairly crowded, and there was a couple who, I don't remember what movie it was, but apparently it was a movie that everybody wanted to see. So he had a ticket. I was sitting next to him. His girlfriend was sitting somewhere else. And he asked me, like, would you mind switching with me excuse me, so that me and my lady can sit together. And I was like, sure, no problem, because I was there by myself. I could have got to that seat and sulked and been upset and cried or whatever. It's no problem. Y'all happy? Y'all need to sit together. Like, that's how comfortable I got. Okay. That's on the single side. Now, on the married side, especially if you have kids, look, you need some time to yourself. Okay. So that you don't have burnout. For mothers who are working and they have husbands and they have children and they have multiple businesses and they're in school and doing that. Sometimes you don't want to be bothered with your husband. You don't want to be bothered with your children. You just want to be bothered with yourself, me, myself, and I. And there's nothing wrong with that. So go and get a bite to eat. Like you just said, she said, it is good because I don't have to share anything with anybody. You ain't got your boo eating off your plate. You don't have your children wasting food and wanting to go to the bathroom and you trying to get yourself, like, you don't have any of that. It's just you. So going to a movie or a dinner alone is wonderful. It gives you a sense of pride. It gives you a sense of confidence. For those of you who are married, it kind of, I feel, it level sets you to remind yourself that you are still an individual. Yes, the Bible, the two become one flesh and all of those things, but y'all are not one of those Siamese twins when your joint, when y'all, it's the truth, but it's not literal like that. Okay, it's not nobody. um, it's not literal like that. You can kind of level set and remember who you are. Hey, Nicole, creeping up in here. Listen, isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? And yes, 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 yes. Let me tell you something. My children now, both of my children, I don't know about you all, but children when they're younger, they kind of like their palate is not like developed. So I started out eating seafood, which was great. And then my oldest started eating seafood and she eats like me. So that's a problem. Okay. Now my youngest loves seafood. So if the three of us go to City Island and go somewhere, it's going to be a clean $150 at least for the three of us. Ain't nobody got time for that all the time. Ain't nobody got time for that all the time. I say ain't nobody got time for that all the time. And it's just me and two other people. So for those of you who are married and y'all got multiple children and y'all trying to go out and it's a lot. It's a lot of grouping, everybody get in the car. Sometimes you just need to be by yourself and it's okay. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, okay. Are you ready? And this is more for the singles, okay? Build something like a bookcase or a desk. Okay. Why? Because if you are living by yourself, you need to be able to do certain things. You should not wait. You should not wait until a man comes along and just have him to do everything. Because what if he leaves, whether it's voluntarily or involuntarily? Then what are you going to do? Build a bookcase. Do something so that, because this is what happens, especially when you're single or you're single again. This is what happens. Sissy, I love you so much. Thank you. It builds your confidence where, you're not, because I'm telling y'all, the psyche, because of society, because of what we see on social media, and it's so saturated with relationships and all of those things. Something happens with the psyche where, if you have something and you don't know how to build it, then that's when you start, feeling away. But if you can do that thing yourself, it's not the fact that you don't need a man. So this is not to do the, I don't need a man kind of parade thing, but this is saying until he comes, then I am self-sufficient. I can do this on my own. Absolutely, absolutely justified. Absolutely. Nicole, you sit down. Nicole, I need everybody to put in the chat, Nicole, everybody except Nicole. Nicole needs to sit down, okay? Nicole needs to sit down, and Nicole needs to stay off of Pinterest, okay? Because Nicole is crazy. And if Nicole wanted to build a house, she would try to build a house. And guess who she would call to help her build that house? Okay, I'm not going to even go into her birthday party and me coming there, making barbecue ribs and having tongues in my hand to make ribs and a drill in the other. Okay, I'm just going to leave that there. That's going to be a conversation for another day. Let me tell you, I have built bookcases, desk, TV, things, and when I have my house, which is this on the list? This is not on the list. So let's just say not only build something, but just learn how to be domestic. Yes, thank you, Gidget. Learn how to be domestic. When me and my ex-husband split, I was living in a 5-bedroom house by myself. Okay, the cleaning and the cooking and all of that, no problem, but I had this stuff called grass and trees. Yes, no, I couldn't make a mistake. Even that's, let me tell you. Okay, I'm gonna tell you real quick. So I get to Nicole's house. Nicole is having a Hawaiian luau for her birthday, right? So I believe, did you have a tent? I believe, yeah, I think she had a tent, but she had a whole tiki bar made, like a legit tiki bar, not a table with a backdrop of a tiki bar. A whole wooden tiki bar made, okay? And then she's like, she wanted a pineapple tree thing. So I'm like, okay. So she hands me a drill. And I'm like, and wait, I'm being Bob the Builder with the, yeah, Nicole is crazy. Nicole is crazy, but I love her. But yes, so I had this thing called grass and trees. And there's this thing called seasons. So for 7 years, I had to mow the lawn, rake the leaves, plow the snow. 4 seasons, 7 years by myself. Okay. And I had to learn that. And I remember when I bought a lawnmower. At least I knew how to do that. At least I knew how to do that, but I put it together because I know how to put stuff together. I can put stuff together, and I go outside and I'm trying to pull the thing and it's not working. And my neighbors, their husbands, were all looking out the window, because this is what you do in suburban neighborhoods. People look out the window at other people, you know, and then I'm crazy trying to do stuff. So all 3 of the husbands came out and we had a huddle on my lawn, and they showed me how to rev up what is it? Not the leaf blower. The thing to mow the grass, to mow the grass. I really sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, but I promise y'all, I'm telling you, I knew what I was doing. The lawnmower. They helped me, and I had to learn how to do that. And I had to do the rakes, and I had to do snow. Now, would I have liked, a man to be there to do that? Abso-daggone-lutely, because it was tiring. But I did what I had to do, so that in the event, and this is not something that we like to really admit to, but in the event that you don't get married, you need to know how to do it. Now, of course, you can outsource and get somebody to like mow it for you or whatever. But yes, lawnmower. You can get somebody to do it for you, but what if they're not available? Whatever. You need to know how to do those things. It just gives you a sense of empowerment, so that you know that you're not hopeless. That's the word that I was looking for. You're not hopeless. You're not hopeless by yourself, whether you're single or single again. You're married, you don't have any business doing that unless you want to help your husband, and a lot of times men won't allow their women to do that, their wives to do that, because that's a man thing. That's what the man does. That's what they call them, power tools, and things like that, because it gives the man, yeah, 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 exactly. But you know how to do it. But you know who to call. But you may not, mow the lawn, Nicole, but you be building stuff and painting and doing all type of stuff, by yourself. Um so yeah, so that's number 2. Do something unconventional. As oh, I kind of switched up number 2. Build a bookcase slash do something unconventional. um you know um that's good. She's gonna feel so great. I felt so great. It's great. It's a great workout. Okay, it's a great workout. If you holding your stomach, and if your land has a little bit of an incline, let me tell you something. She's gonna burn so many calories, because I did. All right, you gotta look at the bright side in all of these things. Number 3. Okay, y'all ready? Train for and finish a huge physical test like a marathon. Okay? Train for and finish and complete a huge physical test like a marathon. Okay? It can be anything from, you can do a walk. There's a lot of different walks for like lupus and MS and AIDS and HIV and cancer, and just regular exercise. Train for that. You can also, if you are a runner, I have one that I know of, a runner, and I know some runners, you know, you can train for a marathon. Or you can be like me, who does not like to run, but I love to do obstacle course races, the types of races where you get in mud and you jump off of stuff and crawl under barbed wire and all of that stuff and jump over fire. That's my level. That's my thing. That's what I like to do. That's what I like to do. I did this thing. Whoa, what? Serena, I never knew. Wow. Okay. Well, God bless you. I do not like running. I do not like running, but I will jump off of anything. I did twice. There was this obstacle course called Motorella. And the first time it was me and one of my good friends, we did it. And it's a 5K obstacle course, 5-mile obstacle course. And the whole thing is about women's empowerment. So there's a lot of obstacles that you cannot complete without the assistance of somebody else. So a lot of these races, people do it in groups, so they raise money, and it's all to go to domestic violence. So the first time I did it, it was me and one other person. The second time I did it, I think it was like 11 of us. It was fan friggin' tastic. It was so great. It was so great because it's about women's empowerment. It's about helping one another. There are just so many great lessons to learn from it. It's also one of those things that'll help you overcome fears. Okay. The second time that I did it, there was the last it was the last obstacle where we had to I don't know if worms are in the mud. I don't think worms are in the mud. I hope not. I hope I don't remember that the next time I do it. I wasn't even thinking about worms being in the mud. Mozzarella is fantastic. Um, you know what? You have been single. You have been single, sis. You know, you're just not single now, but you've been single. You wasn't married all the time. You know, you've been single before, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. And I commend, you know, you all who are married and who are still married, who are thriving and flourishing in your marriages, even though you may have some bumps and bruises because, you know, nothing and no one is perfect, but you're striving and you are giving those of us who are single, who desire to be married, despite all that is happening, you are giving us hope to let us know that marriages still work. Justified Giddums, and to all of you other lovely ladies who are married. So getting back to Mozzarella, Nicole, so when we do it again, you have to take pictures, okay? Because I need a photographer because they don't take enough pictures of me, and I feel like I'm too muddy for y'all to not be taking. I know there's 159,000 people out there, but I need more pictures of me, okay? So it was the last obstacle, and we had to climb this really, really, really high rope, and you get to the top of the rope and you had to slide down this slide. Now, here is the thing. This slide had to have been shy of being at a 90-degree angle. A 90-degree angle, like straight. Okay. And there was so many girls when they got up there, they was just like, and then you slid into mud. You slid into a pool of mud. So if you was trying to be cute and not like be muddy from head to toe throughout the other, I think it was like 13 obstacles. When you got to that last obstacle, the water girl, when you got to that last obstacle, you had to jump, and that will jump and slide down. And because it was so steep, you're sliding fast and you're just going into this pool of mud. So you are going to be immersed. And there was so many women who would just, they would get up there and they're like, I can't do this. And we're like, you can do it. You can do it. You are a rock star. You can do it. And it gave them the courage to overcome their fear of heights and jumping, and they did it. And some of them, when they got out, they cried, you know. And I'm talking single, married, like it wasn't even about like whether you're single or you're married. It was just about you being a woman. The swim cap is not going to work. I'm telling you right now. Let me tell you, there were girls. Sometimes, you know, we just do the most. There were girls there with like shower caps. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. So I'm going to tell you right now, for those of you who want to do mozzarella, be prepared to throw everything that you have on away, including your sneakers. This is what they do at the end. How we get stuck on mozzarella. But anyway, at the end of it, they have showers like outside, and you just out there taking a shower. Now, you're not necessarily butt naked, but you taking a shower because there's mud everywhere. Mud is everywhere. Okay. You're going to be finding mud like 2 days later. Does not matter. First of all, okay, maybe, but you have locks. So I would love to watch you take those luscious long locks that you have and put a swim cap on. Well, okay, maybe some will seep through. It won't be like you're being immersed. So maybe, you know, maybe that will work. I do not know, Serena. I have no idea, but I didn't even get to see them at the end because it was just so many women out there. But what they do is you can take your sneakers and donate them to charity. So they will clean the sneakers up and then they'll give them to people. I think they ship them off somewhere to another country, whatever they do. But all of the clothes, so you come with an extra set of clothes and you put plastic covers on your car seats. Like, that's how serious it is. Okay. But getting back on topic, doing something like that, whether you're walking or whether you're running or whether you are Yes, you wasn't single for long. Once you got to that point of matriculation, after, I understand what you're saying, sis. After, like, you being a teenager, you got married early. There's women who get married early, so they haven't been single for a long time after, like, when it's permissible for you to date. So I get what you're saying, but just sometimes some women say that, like, I've never been single before, and they really, like, you know, but I understand what you're saying. Like, you've been married since you were young. So the things that I'm talking about, you may not have had the opportunity to do it while you were single. So I get what you're saying. Um, so yeah, like whether it's walking or running or doing an obstacle course, do train for a huge physical test like a marathon and get it done. Okay. Number 4, travel to a city or state you've never been to. Okay. This will probably be best with friends. Okay. I would not tell you or advise you to travel alone, so to speak, because of the climate that we live in. Maybe so. I don't know. It depends on where you're going. In 2011, 2012, I left the country. I left the country, but I was on, like, my brain. I went to Asia by myself for a week, and it was for work, but I went by myself, and I went the week of my birthday. Okay. I was going through some things mentally, I'm sure, but one thing that I was sure of was that I was going to take the opportunity because it was presented to me. Everybody on my team had already gone, so I went by myself. And it was a crazy trip. I was not scared. It was the most hands down liberating thing I have ever done in my life. I mean, ever done in my entire life. Nothing beats and compares to leaving and traveling by myself. Going to the movies and going out to eat by yourself is one thing. Leaving the continent of your home and going to another continent, another country where they don't speak your language and you don't speak theirs is something that I will forever cherish. I will forever ever cherish. Okay. And that wasn't the first time. The first time I traveled by myself, I went to Sweden again for work. I went to Sweden for work. I was with a bunch of people. I had just gotten a job with a major retailer, and this is when they first got into the United States. So I went by myself because I didn't have a friend that was working with me. I didn't know anybody in the company, but I went with a bunch of people, but I still went by myself. I'm not telling you to go by yourself. Yes, as my pictures was fabulous, but definitely take a trip. Take a girl's trip. Go somewhere where you have never been. Because here is the other thing. That's another thing that especially single women, single people, when mostly women, we don't want to go anywhere. We don't want to go certain places. We want to reserve those certain places to go with, our husband, right? I remember saying for so long that I didn't want to go to Hawaii, because I wanted to go there on my honeymoon. I never got there on my honeymoon. Don't know if I will get there on my honeymoon. Maybe I'll go somewhere else on my honeymoon. Or maybe I'll go again. I don't know. But I know one thing. I'm going to Hawaii and I'm going to Dubai, with or without a man, with or without a husband. Let me make that correction before somebody sees the replay and rebuke me, because the devil be busy. That's right. Girls trip. And let me tell you something. This is for single and married. Okay. Um, Amen. That's right. This is for single and married. A lot of people, they feel like, once you get married, you don't do anything unless you do it with your husband, and that's it. And for some people, okay, if that's what y'all do, then fine. But if you are married and you have married friends, if you are married and you have a mixture of friends who are single and married, and y'all want to take a girls trip and your husband is okay with it, and he wants to take a boys trip, and you are okay with it, it is about still tapping into your individuality while you are even married. Again, the two become one, but y'all are still two individuals. You are still two individuals. How many couples get sick of looking at each other all the time, or you get married and you realize that your spouse is not one who likes to fly a lot, one who doesn't like to travel a lot. And now you listen, okay, we're gonna take this offline because I got something to say. So wait, what? Johannesburg. See what? I love it. 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 I'm in the company of some powerful, powerful queens. I tell you, y'all be doing the thing. I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Y'all remind me what I was saying. Because I was just rambling and talking and going on. We only at number 4. We ain't even halfway through. I gotta speed it up. Yeah, when what if your spouse, you realize, thank you, Lord, you realize that your spouse doesn't like to travel, and now you don't have anybody to travel with. Okay. And it's not about the trust, because people, when you are a husband, here's the thing, the notion of you should only have married friends, like you put your single friends away in a compartment, and just like throw it away in the trash, and just don't want to be bothered with them. You should be able to go on a trip with women who are not married and still have common things to talk about. Why? Because y'all are all probably mothers, students, occupation. I mean, if nothing else, you're women, right? So the whole notion of you don't have anything to talk to a single one, I can't. Let me drink some of my coconut water because it's about to. I can't stand that. You should be able to go away. Let me tell you, my friend Peaches, shout out to Peaches. I don't know if she's listening, watching, or she out in the street on Friday night, but Nicole knows. Peaches had a birthday party for her 40th, and it was on a cruise. And I think it was about 20, 25, 30 of us that went. It was a lot of us that went. And it was from all walks of life. There were people who brought their children. There were those who were single. There were those who were married. And we all got along. We sat around the table during dinner on the cruise and we talked. We all went on excursions together. The friends and the husbands will go and do one thing, and all of the women, some married, some not. There was one woman whose husband didn't come on a trip. She wasn't single, but she was married, but her spouse wasn't there. But there were other women whose spouses was like, we all hung out. We all had great conversation. It was such a wonderful time. And it wasn't the married people over here and the single people over here. And what we talking about, and y'all can't be here. We all hung out together. It's called adulting. It's called adulting, people. Okay. Yes, it was a lot of people. It was a lot of people. That's right. Let me tell you, and I would just say be careful, but that trip that I took by myself, now when I got back, everything went crazy. On my way back, everything went crazy, but it was unrelated to the trip. The trip in and of itself was fantastic. I mean, and y'all gonna think I'm crazy. We sure enough we had so much fun. I got my luggage got lost. There was a typhoon in Hong Kong, so my plane had to be diverted to Taiwan. By the time the airports opened, I missed my connecting flight from Hong Kong to Korea because I was going to Korea first. So I got to Korea like 2:00 in the morning with no luggage. It was over 100 degrees out there. and the humidity is like a million gazillion. Okay, a million gazillion trillion. Okay, and this is gonna be a little. I got my period the next day. So all I had was the change of clothes that I had on the plane because it's the 18-hour flight. So all I had was toiletries and like one extra pair of underwear and the clothes that I had on my back. That was all I had. I was in Korea for 2 days. You know when my luggage came? My luggage came when I was on my way back to the airport to get my flight to go to Hong Kong to be there for a couple of days. But when I got to my hotel in Hong Kong, it was the day before my birthday. Okay, because in my mind I was on like something like, I was going through my grieving and all of that. So I was like, nobody loves me. If I'm gonna spend my birthday by myself without anybody, I might as well, and nobody's gonna celebrate me, then I might as well go to another country where nobody knows me. That was my thinking. That was one of the reasons why I went. And I remember going to a business meeting in Korea. I remember going to a business meeting in Korea, and this is the day I was leaving. I was getting to Hong Kong on my birthday. So this was the day before my birthday in Korea. And they took me out to a Korean barbecue restaurant. And the entire restaurant of all Koreans sing happy birthday to me in English. They had a cake for me. I mean, they treated me so well. And I know that that was God letting me know, like, no matter where you go, no matter how you feel, I'm going to make sure that I put people in your peripheral, put people in your path who is going to extend my love to you through them. Okay. When I got to the hotel in Hong Kong, there was a cake waiting for me in my hotel room with a happy birthday note I stayed at the Intercontinental in Hong Kong. There was a cake waiting for me in my room. Okay. It was the most beautiful, beautiful thing. So I say all of that to say that if you can, and as long as it's safe, um, just tell everybody where you're going and give them your itinerary and stuff. But go away, travel somewhere where you've never been to, whether it's by yourself with one other person, or with a group of friends. Do something, get some culture, get your passport and get that baby stamped. Okay. And then when you do get married, when you do have a love interest, you can share those experiences just like I'm sharing with you. And then maybe, you get married, we can go back and I can show you where I went and you can show me where that's how you build culture. That's how you build communication. That's how you build connection with people. If you ain't been nowhere and I ain't been nowhere, then where we going? And yes, there's a place for that where you kind of explore things together. But you can still explore things together after exploring things by yourself. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Let me hurry along because I got 7 minutes and I'm playing myself. Oh, yes. Here we go. Number 5. All right. I already covered number 5. Get your passport and leave the country. Get your passport and leave the country. Do not wait on a spouse to go somewhere. You know how many people wish that they had gone somewhere before this pandemic? And then this time last year, we didn't know if we was ever going to be able to go back outside and get on a plane and go somewhere because everybody was shut up and infected with this disease, with this pandemic. People who had planned after years and then they had to have their trips canceled because they waited so long or whatever. Get your passport. Leave the country. Leave the country. Listen, leave the country. Okay? Nicole, I ain't even playing with you. I'm not playing with you. See, you can do this. You can do this. I got one. I got one. I got one down and so many to go. But I promise you one thing, I'm gonna get them in. I'm gonna get them in, okay? Because I love to travel. I love to travel. Get your passport and travel, okay? Make sure that you are traveling with somebody who has the same interests in you, as you. I'm talking about friends now, No, you gotta come back because we got some things to plan over here. So you need to come back and that's what you need to do. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Africa is definitely South Africa. That's definitely on my bucket list. Okay, these are bucket lists. I'm not even mad at you. Okay, and this is a married woman with children, because sometimes you have to check out and you have to unplug. Okay, this pandemic has done so much. And listen, I'm saying to get your passport and leave the country. Number 4 was travel to a city or a state you've never been to. The fact of the matter is, even if you have to go across the bridge, if you're in New York, you got to go across the bridge wherever you live. You got to go across the bridge, down the street to another zip code, book a hotel room, and lay up in that thing for a night and turn on the TV and order some room service and kick your feet up. Do that. Okay. That's going into like the self-care, but whatever it is that you can do to, especially if you're single, to do something, to really, really reclaim your who you are, your confidence in who you are, and know that you're not limited by what you don't have as if you're incomplete. You are complete in and of yourself, and you need to take you and your whole completeness and go and do some things on your bucket list. Okay. Yes. That's right. That's right. That's right. Nicole, where you going? I'm so nosy. I guess that's for you, Gidget. Nicole wants to know where you're going. And listen, no kids or hubby. Nothing wrong with it. As long as your household is okay with it, then you go and you do you. Okay. Number six, and this is for my singles and my single again. And sometimes this may not be a choice. But nonetheless, number 6, do at least one Valentine's Day alone. Okay. If you're one that celebrates it. I'm not a big person about Valentine's Day because I feel like, why go through all of the gimmick and the commercialization of showing somebody love one day a year if you're not doing it the other 365 days a year. But here's the thing, and I talked about this in February when I was doing the series on divorce. Whether you subscribe to Valentine's Day or not, a lot of times just seeing the commercialization of it, just seeing the things on social media, you can it starts to play on your mind anyway. So Valentine's Day, do something for yourself. Do something by yourself. Okay? Buy yourself some Godiva chocolates. Go and buy a box of strawberries and some melted dark chocolate and dip them jokers yourself. And make your favorite dinner. Buy yourself something. It wasn't Valentine's Day, but for Mother's Day, okay? For Mother's Day, because I had lost my mom. I bought myself 3 or 2. I bought myself 2 Alex and Anai bracelets that say mom. And I think for Valentine's Day, I bought myself a Wonder Woman one. I like the Alex and Anai bracelets, just in case anybody is wondering what they can give me for my birthday, which is July 27th. This is what I like. Okay, thanks. I bought myself a Wonder Woman one, and I bought myself a Caribbean one because I like to do the Caribbean and go to the Caribbean. Is my favorite place to be in all the world. And I bought myself a Syracuse one because those who have known me for 2 minutes know that I rep my school very hard. Okay. Buy yourself something. Treat yourself. go out to eat. I'm not saying go out to eat on Valentine's Day by yourself, because one, you may not be able to find, it's everything is high priced or whatever, but do something fun for yourself. And that's a really, really good point, Nicole. Making it a big deal for the kids. Valentine's Day should be more than just loving somebody romantically. They have stuff called Galentine's Day. So maybe if you're single again, you and a bunch of your single friends can go out to eat, buy each other something for Galentine's Day. Okay. They have that for women who may not be booed up and be married. Okay. Yeah. So spend at least one Valentine's Day. So that Gidget is on her phone because yeah. I'll let her tell you though. But so yeah, that's number 6. Number 7. All right, here we go. Again, this is more so for my single and single again ladies. Attend a wedding alone. Nothing will test your healing and wholeness more than going to a wedding by yourself. Nothing will shoot up your confidence outside of traveling by yourself than going to a wedding alone. Why? Because weddings are about love, and look at the couple, and we can be romantic and lovey-dovey, and if we're married, we can recant our day and we can dance. And when they call the couples who have been married, you have to dance on the floor until they say the number of years you're married, and all of those wonderful things, and lock arm in arm, and I have my boo, and I have my eye candy, and I have all of that, and you don't have anybody. So are you not going to go, or are you going to try to find somebody to go with just so that you can have somebody? Hello. This is where I'm at, right? Don't sell yourself short on not going there without being with some. Wait, don't sell your. Okay, I'm tired. Don't sell yourself short going there without somebody, because you may just leave there having met somebody. Okay. But there's nothing more that boosts up your confidence than going. Do you know how many weddings I've been to by myself? I don't think all of the weddings that I have, every wedding that I have been to, and that's including the ones that I've been in after my divorce, I've never had a date. Wait, should I feel away? No, I'm not going to feel away, because you know what? I stepped up in there and I celebrated and I danced and I laughed and I did all of those great things. And then I went home and I took off my clothes and I kicked up my feet and I kept it moving. Okay. I have gone, it's not the end of the world. You do not look like an old spinster, lonely woman if you're going there by yourself. Okay. Because if everybody was married, then who they gonna throw the I was going to say the garland. What is it? The bouquet, not the garland. The thing on the leg goes to the men. Who are they going to throw the bouquet to? For those that do the traditional, things of the wedding, who are they going to throw the bouquet to and see somebody throwing elbows and flying and pushing each other out the way, which makes things so funny. Who are they going to do that to if everybody is single? Some people may be single and have a date. But if you're single and you don't have a date and you can't find a date, then it's not a big deal. We only make things out of a big deal what we allow people to make things out of a big deal for us. Okay? It's a big deal to them. That's you. Don't mean it's a big deal to me. Let me tell you, child, I have gone to weddings. I have gone to galas. DJ Socrates. Yes, I've gone to many events without a date, and I was fine. I lived. I lived. I didn't walk in, and, except for the one. I went to a marriage gala. That was really. I went to a marriage gala. It was me and I think one other woman who was single. Everyone else was married, and they had to have been easily about 40, 50 couples. And it was that's 100 people. And there were two of us that were single. And I was encouraged. I was actually encouraged by these wonderful married women, like, no, just come, just come, just come. And I was like, and I went twice. I went twice. And the second time, listen to this, they asked me to give comments. They asked me to give comments. This is after I wrote my book. They asked me to give comments. And I was so humbled because I was like, what am I going to say to a bunch of married people standing there as a divorced woman? And oftentimes, we as singles or single agains, people really look at us like, they don't say it, but it's an underlining thing. Like, you really don't have anything to lend to anybody because your marriage didn't work. Like, I was the cause of that, so you shouldn't say anything. And I spoke my heart to these married couples, and it was touching, and it was well received. And that was another notch in my confidence belt. Okay. Yeah, I just want to get dressed up and look cute. I mean, listen. Okay. Number 8, we're almost there. Number 8, buy yourself some flowers. Hopefully you're not allergic. If you're allergic, don't buy yourself any flowers, okay? Do not buy yourself any flowers and send me a bill because I'm not paying it, all right? If you're not allergic, buy yourself some flowers. If you are allergic, buy yourself an edible arrangement that looks like flowers, but it's fruit. So you have the look of flowers, but then you can eat the fruit and be healthy. And then everything would just be fantastic. And you know what? Yes, yes. I didn't even forgive me, Auntie. I didn't even consider the whole widow part, which falls in line with the divorce. But I do recognize that it is a different vein. It is a different vein because when we're widowed, people expect you to just automatically, from what I've seen, not from what I've experienced, but from what I've seen, people automatically expect you to have this cloud over you forever, like forever and ever and ever, which, contrary to that, the Bible, well, not the Bible, but the vows are till death do us part. So you have fulfilled, as painful as it is, as grievous as it is, you have fulfilled, your vow, and that's commendable. And then life goes on at your pace. But yeah, I agree. Like, it shouldn't be that, people are looking at you like, oh, you shouldn't. I need to get in the habit of buying myself flowers. And yes, those chocolate dipped strawberries are everything. Yes. Yes, thank you. Can we clap it up for my sissy Gidget, because I didn't ask her to do this, but I'm so grateful to her for helping me out, because she knows why. I'm grateful for that. So thank you, because I just didn't have it in me to put all of this down and be paying attention to the comments and trying to flip back and forth. I've been to shut this whole thing down and then be like, what happened? But I gotta read this. I gotta read this because Sandy is the only person that I know that writes out tongues. And it just takes me out every time. Honey, I'll be slaying, cause use a merry widow as a merry widow. I can't even do that. And I can't even say that in English. I don't even know, but just know she went up in tongues, y'all. Yeah, so I'm glad that a lot of people, Buy flowers. I'm glad. Flowers are a sign of life. I mean, they end up dying, but you take the bulbs and the petals, and then you can make potpourri. So I mean, it's always a win-win. It's always a win-win. Um, okay. Number number 9. Learn to cook well. Learn to cook well. Learn to cook well. Learn to cook well. Yes, eyes. Yes, eyes. A merry widow. I got you, auntie. Number 9. Learn to cook well, because here's the thing: when you do get married, if you desire marriage, yes, your husband's going to want you to cook sometimes. So it would be good for you to know how to cook. I can't tell you how many women I've heard say, I ain't cooking. We just going out to eat every night. Or he's gonna cook, or whatever. And it's like, I'm not trying to contain us into the traditional domesticated type of thing, but learn how to cook. And you can do that in a fun way. Number 1, they got cooking shows and cooking channels, right? Number 2, social media. Same thing. And number 3, there are actual places where you can go and they can teach you how to cook certain meals. And then afterwards, you sit down and you have dinner with the meal, and they'll do wine pairings. And it's fantastic. You can do that by yourself. You can do that with a friend. You can do it with a date, but oh, excuse me. You can you can do a couple of things. Yeah, yeah. Salmonella free, no fungi, unless you're making mushrooms or something. I don't know. Like, learn how to cook. Learn how to cook well. Do that for yourself. There's nothing like making yourself, because sometimes you don't want to go out by yourself, but you want a nice meal, but you may not want to spend money. You may not feel like, sometimes you just don't feel like going out by yourself. You get tired of going out by yourself. And that's the reality of it. You may want a nice steak dinner, baked potato. You may want to replicate what you would get in a restaurant. You could do that at home. You could do that at home. Yes. University of YouTube. Hello. Hello. Okay. Um, Listen, but here's the thing: because you can cook well, you can teach your future boo how to cook if he doesn't know how to cook. And if he does know how to cook, then y'all can cook together. Wouldn't that be nice? It's cooking together. And that'd be fantastic, right? Um, Yes, I need that fried rice. I need that shrimp fried rice, and that's what I need in Jesus' name. Yes. I love to cook, but I also love to count on others' kindness. Got it. Got it. Got it. I understand. Um, yeah, so learn to cook. Okay, number 10. Number 10. Have y'all been writing some of these down? And listen, you may have your own bucket list. One of the things that I didn't, well, I'll share one of the things that I didn't put on here. I'll share that last. Yeah, like I can't be the only one doing the cooking, especially the older that we get. Like, you should know how to make some eggs and grits or something, boil an egg, can you clean chicken, fry, bake a fish, something. I don't know. Yeah, not, please not to do something. Number 10. All right. This one is kind of serious, okay? Make a list of all of your faults. FAULTS. Make a list of all of your faults, okay? This is twofold. Single, always about working and improving. Okay, we talk about the self-care, we talk about the bucket list, we talk about all of those things. But if you are really, really serious about really doing the work and getting yourself in a place to position yourself and be prepared and ready to receive love, then make a list of all of your faults, because there are a lot of things that you can curtail and handle while you are single, whether that's going to therapy, um, learning how to clean if you are not the tidiest person. Um, I can't think of other things, like whatever it is that may not be an attraction for your future boo, your future spouse. Make a list of all of your faults. Okay, if you're married, doesn't hurt. I remember, and I always revert back to my good friends, my SU family, Allison and Dwayne Murray, and we was talking about their marriage, and they were talking about how they listen. They were talking about, going to therapy, and they were saying how they just didn't stop going to therapy, that or counseling rather, when they got their premarital counseling. Periodically they go for counseling, not because anything is wrong, but because they just want to make sure that everything is right and they're on the right track. And I liken it to our bodies, right? Whether it be our physical bodies or a car. You know, with your body, we go to the doctor once a year, right? To get annual checkups. It's not because anything is wrong, but we just want to make sure everything is working right. And if there's something that's not working right, then we can take the necessary precautions to make it right. Okay. Same thing with the car. We take a car after 15,000 miles, after 30,000 miles. You take the car in for maintenance, and they do a diagnostics check when they make sure the engine is right, the oil is right, the tires may need to be rotated, the steering alignment is great. There's fluid for the heating and the windshield wiper and all of that stuff. Doesn't mean that you're taking your car in because something didn't feel right or something didn't sound right. It's just routine maintenance. So making a list of your faults, it's sort of like routine maintenance, okay? Routine maintenance on yourself, which is not only going to help you, but it's going to help your future spouse, your future husband, if you're single, and it's going to help your current husband because you are married. Did I say that right? It's going to help your future spouse yeah, I did. If you are single, I need to go to sleep. It's going to help your future spouse if you are single, and it's going to help your current spouse if you are married. Okay? Um love the hashtag. Love the hashtag, and I always love when I get the approval of the doctor in the building. See, I just did that. Yes, the doctor in the building. So yeah, those are my 10 things. So listen, I hope that you took notes. I hope that some of these resonated with you. Maybe there are other things that you have talked about before the pandemic, things that you have talked about whenever that you just haven't had a chance to do. Listen, I want to go. I want to jump out of a plane. What is it called again? Why can't I think of the terms tonight? It's not scuba diving. Scuba diving is the water. This is the air. I want to jump out of a plane. That's what I want to do. Okay. Amen. Amen. Justified. I want to jump out of a plane. That's what I want to do. And amen. That's on my bucket list to do amongst some other things. So I really skydiving. Thank you. I couldn't think of the so I think that as we continue on with, listen, we can do it together because I wanted to do it around my birthday, and our birthdays are 7 days apart. So we need to make that happen. But we'll take this offline because I don't know if we can. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah, the missing piece this week. I feel like this whole bucket list thing and the things that we want to do it's not only about crossing off those things that are great Um, Number one was go to a movie or dinner alone. Um, I it's not just about crossing off lists and doing things that we want to do to say that we've done them and we have achieved this goal while we're going through life, but it's really about being in tune with ourselves and doing the things that's going to unlock who we are so that we get to know ourselves more, get to know ourselves better, so that we know who we are, so that when we are with or we meet, we come in contact with someone, whether it's a friendship, a platonic friendship, or it's romantic, but especially if it's romantic, we are well rounded and we know who we are. We have experience in certain things. We have done some things. We can speak to some things. And it just makes life more exciting. But then once you get married, because things do change when you're married. Listen, you can't just get up and go whenever you feel like it when you're married. Okay, you can't just go out and buy, that pair of shoes that you want. I mean, you can, and then you hide it, and then it be a whole nother story. But, ideally, you can't you can't do certain things in and of yourself because you have a whole nother partner. You have a half of you, okay, that you may need to bounce some things off of. Your schedules have to work. There has to be a level of approval on both parts. When you're single, you get up and go as you please, as you daggone well please. Okay, I've been I've been in those places, when I was married where, and having children. Listen, my children are 19 and 16. Okay. And my passport is about to be hot and popping because I'm not married right now. Okay. I'm not married right now. So I can get up and go where I want, buy what I want, do what I want. I don't have to answer to nobody but the Lord. The Lord. Okay. I don't have to answer to anybody. Okay. So when you're single, you get to do these things. So that when you get married, you're not sitting in and looking at your life like, what did I do with my life? I didn't do this and I didn't do that. And now I feel like I want to do something and I want to do this and I want to do that. And, my husband doesn't agree or my wife doesn't agree. And now we're bickering and we're fighting and then we're ended up being separated. And I just feel this emptiness. I feel like I'm missing out on life. Is because you missed out on the part of your life when you should have been discovering yourself. And that's what this bucket list is about. Yes, not 16 yet, according to me. Yes, she's almost 16, but let her tell it. She was 16 when she turned 14 because she's been looking forward to being 16 since she turned 14, and she's getting on my nerves. So y'all pray for me, okay? That's a whole nother story. But yeah, so it's about discovering yourself. So I hope you ladies and gents, those who are on the live, thank you so much. Tonight was lit. It was lit. Thank you for all of the comments. Thank you for the laughter. Thank you for the honest conversation. I'm glad everyone enjoyed that. Listen, like it, like the episode, share it. Share it with others. I think that this is something that's really critical, especially with outside opening and us being locked up. I spent all of last year. Amen. To God be the glory. I spent all of last year really, really talking to all of us about the thoughts and the recalculating that we needed to do. Hey Mo, the recalculating that we needed to do so that when outside open, we can hit the ground running and live in life. Because if these last 400 and something days didn't show us anything else, it showed us that life is precious, but it's a vapor and it is not promised to anybody. So before the man comes, while the man is there, while you are living, live. While that's enough. I'm gonna write my own hashtag. While you are living, live. Don't let anybody tell you that you don't start living until you're married and you stop living once you get married. The devil is a liar. And his mama's bald-headed. Your life doesn't start once you get married, and it doesn't end once you become married. That's how you stay married. Because couples, I see couples enjoying themselves after years of marriage, dating, having a great time. You're living. That's what you're supposed to do. Life is not just supposed to be about bills and about just doing, bills and schoolwork and children and all of live, live. Live. Live with your spouse. Live with your girlfriends, because there's nothing like a good group of girlfriends. Okay? We know this. Live. Live without regret. Live. I always say that when I die, I want to die empty. And I often attribute that to ministry and to purpose, but it's really everything. I want to have said when I close my eyes that I have done everything that I wanted to do, that I've gone to all of the places I've wanted to go, that I've eaten all of the cuisines that I've wanted to eat, that I've done all of the things that I've wanted to do, maybe 2 times over. I want to show my daughters, and that's the one thing that I'm teaching them. You get your coins. You figure out what you want to do in life. You get your passport and you live. You live. And when the relationship comes and when the man comes, then that's wonderful. But until then, and even then, and after then, live. Okay? Live. Make sure that we are healed and whole completely so that we can live life confidently and unapologetically. I got to get off this because I have another assignment and I'm tired. I only had 3 hours of sleep because I had a lot of warfare going on. So y'all pray for me. Okay. Anyway, I know I just did like the whole switch, but I hope you ladies enjoyed it. Next week is the 5th installment of the Missing Piece series. So I don't know, I might be, I said I was going to go on ancestry.com and figure out where all hey, my teacher's on, y'all. Hey, teacher, my teacher is on. My teacher is on. This just made my night. My teacher is on. Yes, live. So next week, amen. Next week is the 5th installment of the Missing Piece. And yeah, I will see you all next week. Listen, enjoy your weekend. Drink your water, wear your mask, mind your business. You know how I always say, check on your friends, especially your strong ones, those who have been quiet, those who you have not heard from. Drop somebody a note. Enjoy this beautiful weather. And I will see you all next week. All right. Peace out. Have a great weekend, everyone.